Now, 10 years this year, of course, 2016 is when Brexit happened. You shocked the world, a precursor to Trump and all of the revolutions that have happened since. It is extraordinary that there are still ties that bind to Europe after the people said, we're done, we're in charge of what the UK does.
Well, actually, it's worse than that, because we have an unimaginative Prime Minister in very, very deep trouble. And piece by piece, he's tying us back ever more closely to the European Union, as if somehow that's going to give us an economic miracle, when actually their economies, it seems hard to believe, but they're doing even worse than we are in many cases. So, yeah, we never properly left. Legally, we left. Constitutionally, we left. But we still stayed part of the Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg, which has made it very difficult to deport foreign criminals, even people suspected of terrorism. And now, piece by piece, Starmer wants to take us back ever closer. And, you know, frankly, it was the biggest democratic exercise in the history of our nation. And people have been treated with contempt, quite frankly. And that's one of the reasons why what you're seeing with reform is like a seismic aftershock of the earthquake that was Brexit 10 years ago.
But also, again, because we're feeling this, and yes, it's in delay to what you've gone through, but it is this idea where rather than the people that are saying, well, hang on, we were the authors of the problem, but we also sort of pretended to offer the solution, now believe us this time, there is a generation of people who say, you know what, no. You've done it a million times. I've been loyal to you. I've lost my friends over it. I've won my colleagues, whatever, right? But now is the time for not a bull in the china shop to destroy everything, but for somebody to deliver on what we've always been told the other team believed in.
It's about keeping promises. And what you've seen, certainly in my country, where Boris Johnson got that massive majority, elected as a Conservative, but governed as a Social Democrat on the centre-left. And you've seen that pattern again and again and again, the complete lack of courage, frankly, of those on the centre-right to stick to what they've promised the electors. And you're right, people literally feel betrayed by these old parties and they want something new. And boy, it's happening quick in Australia too, isn't it?
Yeah, my oath. Let's talk about the Epstein files and the Andrew of it all. I mean, the Prime Minister trying to pretend as a way of having a response to things, oh, yes, he should go before an American congressional committee. Well, there's no capacity for that to be compelled or to happen. So what are your thoughts on what we learn as even, well, deeper ties than we already knew, but certainly more detail on how deep those ties were?
Yeah. Well, firstly, I mentioned 37 times, but I never met him. I never went to the island, all right? They were just talking about me, so I'm cleared on this one, absolutely. Secondly, for the royal family, what began as an embarrassment is now turning into a disaster. And this is the biggest crisis the royal family has faced since the abdication of Edward VIII way back in 1936. And as far as Lord Mandelson's concerned, he was leaking confidential cabinet information that was market sensitive directly to Epstein, timings of bailouts for Eurozone countries, etc. But he was also talking about things such as tunnels underneath number 10, security information he was giving to Epstein. And the big question now, number one, he's obviously clearly guilty of misconduct in public office, but has he broken the Official Secrets Act by telling people outside of government about our own internal security arrangements? And I have a feeling that this scandal is only just beginning.
Yeah, what capacity does the Parliament have to deal with that? Because obviously he's a person who previously had high office, previously had, of course, been an ambassador, resigned from both, and I think has even resigned party membership now. Is there a capacity as a politician for you to be able to call him before a body to ask questions, or is that the purview of the majority party, that being the government?
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, he could be stripped of his peerage, his lordship, but that would require a specific act of Parliament, and it hasn't happened, actually, for over 100 years. But more importantly, you know, is he going to be prosecuted for misconduct in public office? Are questions going to be asked about breaches of the Official Secrets Act? And if it was to go down that road, you'd then be looking at a trial and possible possible custodial sentence. This is a very, very serious situation, and I find it hard to believe that a man who's got a high IQ, a man who was supposedly intelligent, has made errors of judgment on this scale. And don't forget, twice before he was kicked out of British cabinets, once for a home loan scandal, another for a passport scandal. But this is, I mean, I have to say, this looks on the face of it to be criminal behaviour.
Extraordinary. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.